Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Becca, and if you're new here, this is my YouTube channel where I talk about all the houseplant things. I do regular updates on my houseplants, I educate on houseplants, I do all these things. So today we are going to be doing a little bit of an update. The last time I did like a true update on my plants was probably right after moving into this place on October 1st, and lots has changed, and I'm excited to show you guys because I am starting to see like little bits of new growth happening and just proof that the plants are doing okay. So I think especially right now when we're in like winter, like the dead of real winter, I was not expecting. Excuse me, my dogs keep wanting to go outside and then all they do is stand by the door. I just don't know what they want. Anyway, but in the midst of like real cold winter, I was not expecting to see new growth. And I do have some new growth to update on, but I want to say first of all, this plant room here, this plant room, as I have expressed before, has lots of windows. This is all south facing, and this is all west facing. So there's definitely a ton of windows in here, and those windows are all really old windows. So they're definitely not very like weatherproof, if you will. So when it's cold, like it's cold. But I did have a subscriber, shout out to you, thank you so much, you know who you are. They sent me this greenhouse heater, and it has honestly been amazing for keeping this place warm. I think that, well, I was previously using just a regular space heater, and when we got our electric bill, it was shocking using that. So we'll see if this is any different. I'll definitely update you. Maybe before this video goes up, we might have gotten the electric bill. Hopefully this one is a little bit more efficient, and I don't hear it coming on as much as my other one came on. So I feel like this one's better able to gauge the temperature. I don't let it get anywhere below 65 degrees because I just feel like at that point it's like not a good environment for the plants. So usually it is from 68 to 71 degrees, and that works for us. So yeah, the plants are definitely happy in that. And yeah, so let's walk around and do some updates, and I'll stop yapping. Okay, so I mainly want to focus on updating in the plant room because this is where, like, honestly, 90% of my plants are, and it just looks so pretty right now. It's such a cloudy day, yet still coming in here feels so good. It's shocking to me, like, how little I see the sun. It's just, I have not gotten used to it yet. I think it'll take a long time, but anyway. Oh, let me show you my Norfolk Island pine. So I got this, and I know that it is a plant that needs a lot of humidity, and it's definitely not getting that. I think it's at about, let's see, 29% humidity in here, which is pretty much nothing, yet it's still hanging on. I've had to be a little bit more proactive about watering it more often to keep it happy because it just, yeah, it's a thirsty plant, but it seems to be doing okay so far. So that's exciting. I'm gonna see how long I can keep this growing, and maybe, just maybe, it could be our Christmas tree next year or the year after that. We'll see if I can keep it alive that long. I'm not sure how confident I feel about my skills with this particular plant, but we will see. This whole area is right next to this window, and I did have a plant look like it suffered from cold damage, which I have now moved it over there. It was my Melanochrysum verrucosum cross. I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, so these ones are doing okay. Like, these are jungle cacti, so they're pretty hardy. And then I have two ANTHURIUM right here. And then this is a type of orchid. It's like a special orchid. And this is the mechanism that the greenhouse heater uses to like gauge the temperature. It was a little confusing to set up at first, but it made sense eventually, and I just use this to mess with the temperature or, you know, move it around. I could even switch it to being like a cooling down system if I want for the summertime, because again, it'll probably get hot in here given how thin the windows are, but we are getting new windows, so possibly that won't be a problem. My ficus are slowly biting the dust, except for my fiddle leaf fig, which I just don't understand. I feel like I have come to an arrangement with the fiddle leaf fig, like I understand what it wants. These two leaves are new, which is really exciting that it did that. And yeah, I feel like the fiddle leaf fig is not that hard of a plant to keep as long as you kind of understand what it needs and like how it shows what it needs. So when this one's thirsty, I noticed that the leaves just like drooped down quite a bit. So once I realized that, it just was so much easier to take care of. So definitely good on that. And then the rest of my ficus, like look at this. So bad. This is my Altissima, which we know I've had issues with. I don't know if it'll make it. Maybe it'll hold on long enough to be put out in the summer. We will see. My cactus stopped dying, which is good news. My cactus are all lined up right here. And I did decide that I'm going to have to get some supplemental light because even though they're right next to the window, this is like no sunlight. So yeah, we're gonna be doing some grow light situations here, which means I'm probably gonna have to move them like maybe all against that wall right there. But for now, they're stable, which is really good. And yeah, I'm excited. They are showing that they're thirsty, so I probably will be watering them. Fingers crossed that doesn't ruin anything, but yeah, definitely look very thirsty. Some of them look extremely thirsty, so I'm gonna have to do that. The last time I watered them was October 1st, so I think that it'll be okay to water them. It's been quite a few months since then. And then something that's truly exciting is this. So this is my RHAPHIDIPHORA TETRASPERMA, which is honestly a plant that I don't hype up very much, but it is so big. Like it goes all the way to the ground, all the way up to here, which is probably like at least 4 or 3 feet, 3.5, 4 feet. That's huge. And a lot of these leaves are just so pretty. And so it started putting out new growth. You can see here, finally. It stopped putting out new growth like around the time when I was in Tucson. And then finally it put out this leaf like I guess a week or 2 ago. And then now this one, and then we have this section over here putting out new leaves as well. And this plant is a tissue culture variety, but these newer leaves do look like the original plant that is not a clone. So that's eventually what they'll all do. And I'm just glad to see that it is putting out consistent leaves that are more round shaped. It started putting them out like probably around here, or even down here, we have some of that. I think all of the leaves that look super tissue culture are on their way out. This is, for example, a super tissue culture looking leaf. It's super thin and just a lot more elongated, a little bit more bluish in hue. And these ones feel a lot thicker and clearly are like a deep green color. So that's super exciting. And you can see there's a midrib hole on this one, which is so cute. My string of hearts has more or less bit the dust. Like there's obviously still vines that are left, but really nothing significant. And I guess that's okay. I am pretty sad about it, but even when we were in Tucson, it was still not doing spectacular. So these like new vines that you see, these vines with like these actual like heart-shaped leaves, those are all new growth, which means that the plant is having a turnaround, but for a long time it was putting out leaves that looked like this. Oh, let's get the focus. It was putting out leaves that looked like these, which is like really weird and not at all what they're supposed to look like. And then later on in this vine, they started putting out the regular heart chain that it should. So I think that it was just going through something in Tucson. I had it outside. I don't think it particularly loved it. But now we are back inside and hopefully doing a lot better. So I want to update on my varicosum because I did recently repot 2 varicosums together. And I'm so happy to share that it is doing really, really well. And I'm just loving seeing this like full pot of gloriosum in here. I just think that it's so beautiful, and this leaf in particular just like makes my heart sing, and I can't wait to see it keep getting bigger. It does look like it's trying to put out a new leaf back here, so I'm excited to see that. We will see what happens. You can see that like pink thing right there. That's usually where the new leaves come out. And I don't know if I've shared this plant, but someone actually sent me this ALOCASIA Stingray, which is so cool because look at these stems. Those stems are probably like the coolest part of the plant, in addition to the fact that like they have this sort of a look. I just think it's such a cool plant. It wasn't something that I ever really thought about owning until I opened it and I was like, wow, this is really cool actually. So I'm really, really excited that someone sent this to me, and just so thankful to have these online relationships where that happens. I have it sitting in this pot by Joanna Hennigan, which is a person who does pottery who I share about pretty often. So this is one of her pots, and then this is another one of her pots from one of her newer collections. And I just have my ALOCASIA black shield. I forgot what it's actually called, but I have this in here. You can see this is a new leaf right here. And honestly, I didn't know how I would do with this plant, but it is so easy to care for. Honestly, I neglect it. Like, it'll droop when it's thirsty. It'll look kind of like this. And I water it at that point, and then I just kind of leave it. And I have it sitting in the nursery pot still, just inside of this pot, because I don't know what I want to plant in here. It feels kind of weird to put a tropical plant in this cactus thing, but I like to put my cactus all together like that. So I don't know. Do you think it's weird to pot this in here? Let me know what you think, because it would work size-wise. I just don't know if that's like weird. Let me know. And honorable mention, my Philodendron Florida, which I ignore, is putting out a new leaf, which is really exciting. This is like starting over because there was a little spike right here before, but it fell off, I think with the move and like lack of humidity, but it put out a new one. So I don't know how big that leaf is going to be, since it seems like it's starting over, but I'm excited to see. We will have to see what that looks like and how big it's going to be. But this shelf I've organized to have like less plants on it so it doesn't feel so messy. But this just makes me realize that I need to have like another shelf somewhere, and this room feels like pretty packed already. So this plant just has a tendency to rip when it's coming out, which is really sad and annoying. This leaf did not do that, and it is absolutely perfect. This leaf did that in 2 places, and I think it's really just due to low humidity. So honestly, there wasn't much that I could do about it this time. I saw the ripping after it was already like done. So I guess if you ever see an Anthurium putting out a new leaf, just make sure that you are misting the leaf a ton, because if not, it will rip if it's not in a humid enough environment. So just something to be aware of that they do, but in general, like, this is not gonna bother the plant long term. Like I said, this leaf has it and it's still like super firm and healthy and not going anywhere anytime soon. So nothing to really worry about, but just something that kind of sucks. So that's what it looks like up close. But other than that, it looks really good. I'm loving how this plant is like growing up. I love that they droop down eventually, so it's kind of like a hanging plant. I think that's so cool. And then my Viticii is doing the same thing. Or I guess Vicii would be a more accurate pronunciation. So, okay, I'm gonna take you into my plant room, my second plant room, I guess. And I just wanna show you, I think like one thing, and then we're gonna end the video because I don't have much more to share without it becoming like a full-blown house tour. So yeah, we're gonna talk about this guy. So let's get started on that. Okay, so let's ignore the shiny insulation and just general mess that this room is. But this is my variegated Syngonium, and I think that it's doing really, really well in the move. It has been shedding a lot of leaves, admittedly, and it's looking like pretty bare and like stringy at the bottom here, but what I've done is I've just put stakes in it and I'm just staking it up in sections. So we have a section right here that's like definitely shorter, makes up the bottom part of the plant, and then 2 taller ones back here. And when you look at it from the front, it just looks like one big healthy plant, which is pretty cool. I hope that it continues to get taller and go up. And I did not make a tall trellis for it. I want to, but then again, I don't, because I did that with my RHAPHIDIPHORA TETRASPERMA, and I just don't like it, actually. I wish that, I don't know. When you have a really, really tall trellis, like up to here, it just can move a lot, and it's not super solid in the pot like I would want. So maybe if I try again, I would have a way to secure it to the pot so that it wouldn't be able to move around. But for now, just putting individual stakes in the plant is good enough. I think that it does the same thing. So anyway, this right here is a new leaf. I haven't actually seen that one yet, which is exciting to see some new growth. I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. I'm always nervous about this plant, to be honest, because I know that it's like a super sought after plant, and I just happened to buy it like right before it got super popular, and I got lucky. So I think, yeah, this is also a new leaf right here. This feels relatively new. So that's a super pretty leaf. Very exciting. I love those colors. The colors will eventually turn more of a white variegation, but when they first pop out, they are pretty yellow, but they will mature into being more like something like this one. So yeah, that would be my variegated Syngonium update. It's doing well. So far, so good. All right, you guys, that is going to be all for this plant update this January. I'm really excited to see new growth happening and that my plants are okay. Like, I was so worried about them. I'm sure that you guys were too, but everyone's doing okay, and we are seeing some new growth finally, which is just very exciting. So thank you guys so much for caring about my plants and caring about me and watching this video. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh, there's a fungus gnat flying in front of me. Fungus gnat awareness month, you guys. They love to come out in the winter. Set up your sticky traps now, okay? Bye.